Rock's first decade was full of innovation and helped inspire a culture shift that focused on teenagers, their music, and their style. Rock came on so quickly and powerfully, it seemed like anyone could get up on stage and have a hit record by the end of the week. Tonight, I'll be talking about rock and roll's early days with my guests John Brown and Kevin Inge of the band Horsehead. We will discuss the personalities, the gear, and the changes made famous by rock and roll's first generation. I'm Mike Grubb. Welcome to the Musicscope. Before we get started with tonight's discussion, I want to introduce my two guests. John Brown and Kevin Inge have been playing music together for quite a while, most notably in their band Horsehead, who have 6 albums and 16 years under their belts. Their songs are guitar-driven, with sweet vocals and bluesy treatments, and they're best taken in on summer night drives with the windows all the way down. While their style makes nods to artists like Tom Petty and the Beatles, John and Kevin are dedicated students of rock's early styles and tones. After all, where would Petty and the Fab Four be without Elvis, Chuck Berry, or Buddy Holly? Join me now for a discussion with our guests, John Brown and Kevin Inge. Let's talk about the first generation of rock and roll and how it's influenced you guys as musicians.
For me, it's the basis of everything. It's probably the first thing any of us heard. With my dad being a preacher, most modern radio was not okay to listen to.
Sure.
But that stuff was okay. So that's what I listened to. That's what I gravitated towards because I was allowed,
Yeah.
So, my first record was Buddy Holly, Peggy Sue, That was the first thing I owned myself.
Wow.
It's the basis of it all,
Man.
And
Kevin?
Not me. Not me at all. I came at that stuff way later. I came at it like I think a lot of people come at it, where it's more of an indirect thing at first. So you find these artists, maybe for us and our age group, you find the artists in the 70s and 80s. And then if you get to be enough of a fan of that artist, then you go, oh, where did they get that from? And that's how I found that stuff.
Yeah.
Backtracking, digging.
Yeah.
Digging back.
Digging.
Yeah.
Crate digging.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there was a lot of oldies radio. That's where I learned. Learned all those songs. It was just Heartbreak Hotel was going to be heard 5 times a day
right.
if you turned on the oldie station.
Yeah, I did not have that experience because my parents didn't like music from that time. They only liked modern stuff and stuff from the 70s and country when I was a kid. So I just didn't get exposed to that stuff until way later.
I would have thought your mom was an Elvis fan.
Oh no. My parents can't, to this day, can't stand Elvis Presley. They were completely we were overexposed to it. We got sick of him.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm you're missing out. You're insane.
That may be the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah. And she'll hear this and then I'll have to talk to her about it. And that's okay. Love you, Mom.
I'm going to call her later.
So what would you say was the biggest impact that rock and roll had on popular music? Not just rock and roll, but music as a whole. What was rock and roll's impact?
To me, kind of the first wave, all of them were brought up in church. And there's the pomp and the show to church, especially at that time.
Right.
I think they were just conveying that to other people. This is church, They were bringing all of that showiness, and it also created that barrier between audience and performer, because that's kind of how church is. There's the guy talking and there's the congregation. That's kind of what rock and roll did in music, because before that it was seated and everybody was right up, together.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest thing that they brought to it.
I generally would agree with that. I do think that a big thing, and I think that I'm coming at this from a musician standpoint, more than just general public, but recording techniques.
Yeah.
And it's just so different from everything before.
Yeah.
The advancement of recording techniques after it became a thing.
Yeah.
The advancement just skyrocketed off of the popularity of that genre of music.
Yeah.
And how much change happened in like that 10-year period is mind-blowing.
Like all these happy accidents, like the distorted guitar. It
Yes.
wasn't because it was designed that way. It was
Right.
because, Sam Phillips had this mic
Right.
that everyone's trying to compete with, and
Right.
the guitar player's trying to be heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he had that thing, a 15-watt amp, blaring. And, man, if you listen to that opening riff of, like, Rocket 88...
Oh, yeah. They were trying to play horn parts. It was these bands.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
very
think
much so.
The advent of that created a atmosphere. It created a way for bands to tour.
Yeah.
Before that, there was these huge bands with huge horn sections and stuff. People would go to a theater and they would play 4 nights in a row at the theater. Well, guys wanted to travel around the country and they wanted to be able to have a small band. The guitar player had to fill up all that space that the horns were filling. They might bring a saxophone player, but the guitar guy was going to play horn parts. That's that's where a lot of the chords we're still playing came from. The horn parts.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. If you listen to Peggy Sue,
Yeah.
that lead and that is a horn part. I mean,
You're right, yeah.
you can imagine horns playing that.
That's funny. It's funny to think about it like that, but it's absolutely accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes further out than that first gen. Yeah, I mean, Satisfaction
Yeah, right.
was a horn part. I know that's not what we're talking about, but that's still even that thing. Like 10 years later,
Yeah.
guitar players still trying to make horn parts.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still trying to make horn parts. It's 2022. I'm still trying to play horn parts.
Man, listen to the Stones version of Satisfaction.
Right.
And then, Otis Redding did it.
Yes.
And Otis
That's
Redding
exactly what I was thinking about.
made the horn part right, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Keith always said he wished they had done it that way. He
yeah.
said Otis's version is the one that's the best.
But then I wouldn't have 17,000 fuzz pedals. Well, screw that.
It's just 5 or 6 horns. Elvis Presley. So Elvis, I think this is the most controversial question I have. Elvis Presley, generally credited, king of rock and roll. Is that accurate? And
Let the consternation begin.
I think it just depends on the person. I think everybody has, it is one of those things you can either have to hold that close to your heart or not.
yeah.
If I had to choose one, it would have to be Little Richard.
Yeah.
Like, is there anybody?
Little Richard's chosen Little Richard for
I think he was right. I mean, the music would not have been brought to the masses. The reality is young white kids, a lot of them, their parents wouldn't let them listen to black artists.
Yeah.
And it took a really good-looking white kid to come and play the exact same songs that were already being released by black artists. He did them really well.
Yeah.
And I think he gave them a lot of respect, and the musicianship is so great on that stuff. But when it comes down to it, showmanship, the voice, I'd have to go with Little Richard.
Well,
I just have to.
Well, and Little Richard scared the shit out of everyone. I mean, here's this guy wearing makeup, hair all high.
Oh, yeah.
And he does that, whoa, this great, like, man, absolutely.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Like from outer space and just.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. I was listening on the way over here, I was listening to one of the playlists, and Little Richard came on, and I was like, that sounds like it's from another planet. I mean, in the context of everything else that was going on,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's from a distant star.
I I can't deny the voice and charisma of Elvis Presley. We can talk till we're blue in the face about how conflicted I am over that person and how that all came to be. I don't know that I think of anybody as the king of rock and roll. I don't know. So my answer is, I don't have an answer for you.
When you look
Very
back,
diplomatic.
when you look back, I think what Elvis did. I think if you listen to like Big Mama Thornton's version of Hound Dog,
Right.
then you listen to Elvis's. Elvis made it. It's aggressive. Mm-hmm. It is like he has this. Big Mama Thornton. It was still bluesy and it had a groove.
Right.
Elvis's was on top of the beat. It was just like
Very true.
very
Made it more pop.
Yeah.
More pop. Elvis had Sam Phillips too. I mean,
that's
the
true.
production.
That's very true.
If you compare just the production, the sound of it, those Sam Phillips recordings were incredible.
What was the biggest game changer that rock and roll brought to active musicians?
Well, it's funny, we already touched on it, but I was thinking, the guitars playing horn parts and making the band smaller. It's like, hey, we can travel around the country. And that's when that road dog thing kind of was created,
Yeah.
That's when all that popped up that everybody's still doing today. That's the way you make it in this world,
Yeah.
We share a brain. My whole thought on that whole question is that it pushed the guitar to the forefront of an entire genre of music and changed the way that everybody looked at the guitar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And especially, man, you could make the argument that guys like Charlie Christian or T-Bone Walker had done it, but I think that, and not just Chuck Berry, but again, all the guitar players in all the bands, there's always a lead horn line lick going on. And man, it made the guitar a lead instrument. It wasn't just some guy sitting in the back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was the first era, maybe a little bit before it, but it's when it was made popular that guitar became a lead instrument.
Technology was coming out like every year. There was something new. And it wasn't like, a new guitar. It was like completely different.
Yeah.
Like a bass with frets.
Yes.
What?
Oh my God.
A solid body guitar that doesn't feedback when you turn it up. What? Like
that was the era of innovation in musical instruments. I mean,
overdubbing.
Maybe the last big era of musical instrument innovation.
Well, yeah. I mean, all the guitar designs are based on
still
two guitars from the mid-1950s.
It's true. It's true. It's very true.
Is there someone that you think deserves more credit than is typically given for helping get rock off the ground? Everyone knows Elvis.
Who's Elvis? I'm kidding.
that I don't think you can give to anybody else but Elvis. I mean, there's no one before him, maybe after him, that brought rock and roll into every home with a young person in it.
Well, and I think that the interesting thing about Elvis is, and it's a little sacrilegious because we think about rock and roll as music and attitude, but like Elvis was, I think a lot of it was visual.
Mm-hmm.
I think getting him on the TV.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
And they saw this handsome young guy swinging his hips.
Yeah.
The sex appeal movie star.
Even still, now when you look at pictures of him in that era, it's like, okay, that's unnaturally good looking for a man. That's a good looking dude.
He was truly the Brad Pitt of his day.
Yeah. I mean, he just, there was no one that looked like him,
Right.
So,
and you can see with the conviction that he did too, on top of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he was picking amazing songs.
Right.
He picked Hound Dog.
Yeah.
I mean, he's picking these great songs. Like, how did he have access to that in Tupelo, Mississippi? Like, how did he? If you listen to, we went down to Sun a couple years ago, and they play you the first recording that he did as you're in there. And, first it hits you. This is the place that happened.
Yeah, that's a wild feeling.
But second, you realize this isn't spectacular. It's not spectacular.
No.
It's just kind of like, okay, I can see the guy was recording something for his mom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, Richie Valens, Jerry Lee Lewis, all exited rock and roll within the span of about a year, which is crazy to think about, considering that rock and roll had only been around for 4 years.
Right.
Were there big consequences to that for the development of rock and roll? And if so, what were they?
I don't think so. I think it all is cyclical. Mm-hmm. So I think they were all starting to kind of age out of it anyway. In fact, I think that was part of the reason Colonel Parker wanted Elvis to go into the military, wasn't it?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was like, okay, you're getting older. We need to change your look.
Yeah.
But I feel like it all, it would have been the same regardless, because I feel like some of those guys would have lost some of their relevance as the new types of music started to happen, I'm sure when the Beatles played Ed Sullivan, that was when people suddenly went, Elvis isn't cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that
we've seen that in modern times.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. It's cyclical. It keeps happening. I think that was just another era where, unfortunately, a few of the guys had sad endings, but they all would have kind of aged out of it at that point. They were closing in on 30. The teenagers start to lose interest once you cross that big 3-0.
Well, and that I think rock and roll at its heart is a young person's music, and once I think we see it over and over again, whether it's you're talking late 60s, if you're talking about when punk and new wave shows up, if you're talking about whatever, I think that the driving force is always teenagers, and
I think with any type of music.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
absolutely,
because those are the voices that are lifted up and that are noticed, because the vast majority of the listening public is young people.
Yeah.
And they're not looking to listen to 60-year-olds. Most of them are.
Yeah.
There's niche artists, I'm sure tons of teenagers bought C6 Steve records for a short time. But it was a niche,
Right.
He didn't sell 100,000 records.
Sure. Yeah.
So people are in their prime in their early 20s.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point.
You look good, you sound good.
And you come up with a fresh new idea.
Yeah.
You're open to new things, where if you've been doing the same thing for 10 years, you found your groove, you're doing it. Why would it be any different? That's
Yeah. It's part of the human condition, really.
Obviously, you guys both have a huge spot in your heart for Sam Phillips and Son.
Fame Studios wouldn't exist without Sam either.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, he was a mentor to Rick Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And
so many things.
I mean, my absolute favorite music, probably 60% of it was recorded in Fame or Muscle Shoals sound.
But so what is it that makes those records so unique? Why was Son so different than everyone else?
I think Sam Phillips' ear for a song. I mean, there was a span of 5 years that he didn't pick many bad ones. I mean, like everything he did was selling tons of records. And he was just this little old, garage turned into a studio.
Yeah.
There was no money when he started, He just had a really great ear for songs. The guy found Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, right.
Holy cow, to be the person that found Howlin' Wolf. I mean, that would be a no-brainer if you heard that voice come out of a human.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to the songs. I think he just picked artists that had incredible songs.
I think it's more to do with that. I think there's a secondary element there. And I think it's location. Just where they were situated and the history that's in that area that they would get the people. I mean, I know people came in from out of town, but there's a contingent of folks that came in from very close by, and that he would have that level of stuff to pick from in the first place. I don't know how much of it was hyper local, but still, the fact that whole area. That whole area. Stax.
High Records is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so
American
that
Sound.
whole area of the country.
Well, but when he started, there wasn't a whole lot of recording studios in that part of the country.
Right.
You know, you either go to Chicago or New York or Los Angeles, or, you know, I don't even know if Nashville was that developed. I mean, they had the Grand Ole Opry, but I think Nashville in that area was still kind of like
I think probably around the same time. I think Owen Bradley probably started around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take a guy like Robert Johnson, you'd have to drive him. You either set up a portable thing in a hotel, or you drive him to, you know, some town hundreds of miles away.
That's a really good point, Kevin. I don't think about that very much. How much incredible music came from that area.
I didn't think about it as much until we went down there.
Yeah.
Once you realize, well, the proximity of Stax and that place together, the fact that any of that happened in the same 20-year span should speak volumes about that location and its history.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one song, someone had never heard rock and roll before from that era, and you want to get them an idea of what rock and roll is. What's the one song that defines that era?
Man, that's tough.
I find it easy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's yours.
This would be the first song I ever heard from that time, that place. It's Jailhouse Rock. It's just...
Wow.
That's a great song.
It's really great.
It's the thing.
That one sounds incredible, too.
And it sounds great. I mean, Hound Dog's a close second for me.
Hound Dog.
Just the way it sounds.
That comes to mind for me. Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
I mean,
oh my God.
That's just hard rocking.
Yeah.
Swinging, the piano's playing straight, the drums are swinging.
It starts off with his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything just kind of playing.
He's letting everybody know, here comes something, you know.
Yes. No mistaking it.
It would depend on the day. I don't know if I could pick one. Peggy Sue was another one that came to mind. It's like that one, same reason. I think it's probably the first thing I heard from that era. And it sticks with me as like my introduction. So maybe I would introduce somebody the same way.
Yeah.
So maybe Peggy Sue.
My vote would probably go to Johnny B. Good.
No, right on.
That's another good one too.
It's this perfect little like bounce,
swinging drums with
a straight
guitar doing straight,
and it's just such a good push and pull. Oh man,
yeah,
I know.
That makes anyone want to play guitar. But again, that's probably my guitar bias.
Just that whole rhythmic thing about that era, though, the swinging drums and the straight guitar together.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get right. Those guys were playing.
It's freaking impossible.
Yeah, those guys were playing 6 nights a week, 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So they were going to get it.
But yeah, it totally depends on the day.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, I'll wake up tomorrow and I will. The first thing when I open my eyes tomorrow, I know there will be a different song. I'll be like, "Dang it! I wish I had remembered."
I was listening to "Oh Boy" by Buddy Holly on the way here. It's just, all my love, all my kissing.
Dang it.
Great tune.
It's a great tune.
And I'm sitting there driving and bopping along in my truck on the way over, and I'm like, man, maybe that's it. So
incredible.
So thank you guys. I appreciate you
thanks
guys
for
coming
having
on the show.
Yeah,
I'm honored
absolutely.
that you would ask.
So,
it's a lot of fun.
I want to thank my guests John Brown and Kevin Inge of Horsehead. Check out their latest release, Pageant Wave, at horseheadmusic.com or on your favorite streaming service. Join us next month when our new series explores the world of electric guitar and how it became the symbol and dominant voice of rock. Thanks for listening to The Musicscope. I'm Mike Grubb.